Hello, welcome to another educative series. In today's series, we would be solving a practical change of subject problem in mathematics, right? So let's quickly solve our question for the day. Okay, so this is series 5, and in series 5, our question from our consultants is the fraction v plus w over 1 over y minus 1 equals z, and 50p equals y multiplying w plus v. Express p in terms of y and z only, right? So this is our given question. Okay, right. So in this question, we're given two equations, right? So the equation, the fraction v plus w over y minus 1 equals z, and the equation 50p equals y multiplying w plus v, right? So let's solve them one after the other, right? So when you have two equations, okay, running concurrently, you solve one, right, first before you insert the solution into the other one. And mostly questions like this, you would need a knowledge in substitution, right, to solve questions like this. Okay, so we have our first equation to be the fraction v plus w over y minus 1 equals z, right? So we multiply each side by the LCM. Okay, so the LCM is y minus 1, right? Because that's the number that can go through each denominator successfully, right? Okay, so this z has an invisible one because every number is divisible by 1, right? So between 1 and y minus 1, right? 1 multiplying y minus 1 is 1 minus 1, right? So that means y minus 1 would go into all the denominators. So you multiply through by each each LCM, right? So when you multiply through each equation with the LCM, we are going to have our next equation to be the fraction v plus w over y minus 1 multiplying y minus 1 equals z multiplying y minus 1. Okay, so this y minus 1 would cancel itself out. Okay, to also cancel this 1 minus 1. Okay, leaving v plus w alone, right? So we are going to have our next equation to be v plus w equals x minus equals s multiplying y minus 1, right? Because s multiplying y minus 1 will give you, because z multiplying y minus 1 will give you z multiplying y minus 1. So we have our equation to be v plus w equals z multiplying y minus 1, and we label it as equation 1, our first equation. Okay, so what it literally means is that whenever, like wherever you meet v plus w or w plus v, you have to insert z multiplying y minus 1 into the equation. Okay, so let's move on into our next equation. So our next equation was given as 50p equals y multiplying w plus v, right? So here we have to make p stand on its own, right? So we divide through by 50, okay? And whatever you do for the left hand side, you do same for the right hand side. That's the rule in mathematics. What you do for the left hand side, you do same for the right hand side. So 50p equals y multiplying w plus v would, okay, would cancel out with 50, right? So 50 will cancel itself 1. 50 will cancel 50p, the 50 within the 50p, leaving p to stand on its own, right? So we are going to have our new equation to be p equals to the fraction y multiplying w plus v over 50, and we label it as our equation 2, right? So what we have to do is now substitute equation 1, remember equation 1, into our new equation 2 here, right? So our equation 1 was given as v plus w equals z multiplying y minus 1, right? So this means that wherever you see v plus w, you have to insert z or z multiplying y minus 1, right? And here we have w plus v, which is the same as v plus w here, right? So that means in our equation 2, so that means wherever we meet w plus v, we have to insert z multiplying y minus 1. Okay, so in doing so, our p is going to be y multiplying w plus v, which is giving us z multiplying y minus 1 equals 50, right? So we've inserted our equation 1 into equation 2. Okay, so solving further, okay, to find p, y multiply, or in bracket z multiplying y minus 1 will give us yz multiplying y minus 1. Okay, so therefore expressing p in terms of y and z only, right? That is making p the subject of the relation. P equals the fraction z multiplying, or in bracket y minus 1 over 50, right? So that's our final answer. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Kindly